And then, so in algebra 2, we do slope again, because slope is one of the most fundamentally important concepts in math. And even like through calculus, right? Calculus is based on the concept of slope. Okay? All right, so here we go. Let's talk about rate of change. Rate of change is how, when you have two quantities, how one quantity changes with respect to the other. Okay? So if you have, an equation with, let's say, x and y, the rate of change is the change in y divided by the change in x. Another way to write that is delta y over delta x. That triangle looking thing is the Greek letter D, delta. It means change. Okay. So here, to find the rate of change of this set of data, what we're going to do is we're going to pick 2 points. So here we have time and distance. We have an independent and a dependent variable. We pick 2 of the points. I'm just going to pick 2 random points. And we are going to find rate of change. So we say rate of change is the change in the y, 48 minus 24, over the change in the x, 8 minus 4. So how much is that? 24 over 4, 6. But also, we have to have units because these are physical quantities. This is the 48 and the 24 are distance, and they are given in feet. The time is given in minutes. So this is 6 feet per minute. Okay, and now that makes sense, right? Because whatever this is changing at a rate of 6 feet every single minute. Okay, now, rate of change is given by another name called slope, and the slope is given a symbol m. So if you have 2 coordinate points, x1, y1, we all know the formula for slope. It's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. In other words, y2 minus y1, right, is how much this graph is rising vertically, and x2 minus x1 is how much this is changing horizontally. So slope is also rise over the run, all right? Okay, let's talk about different versions of slope. If a line, okay, a graph is always read from left to right. If from going left to right, the graph is increasing or the line is increasing, then it has a positive slope. If it's decreasing, then it has a negative slope. If it's horizontal, 0 slope. And then if it's vertical, it's got undefined slope. Okay? All right, why don't we go ahead and find the slope of these points? Okay, so here, we're going to do m equals, so here I label this x1, y1, x2, y2, and then we're going to do the y's first, 2 minus 8 over 4 plus 3. And it's important to be consistent, right? y2 minus y1, and then also x2 minus x1. So this is negative 6 over 7, and that's it. You've got, I know, whatever. You've got to simplify this, okay? Okay, oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. M. Okay, x1, y1, x2, y2. No, you don't have to. Negative 5 plus 5, 6 minus 3, 0 over 3, that's just 0. Okay, so this is 0 slope. Okay. And if you graph this, right, you'll see you have 6 and then negative 5 and then 3 and negative 5, and you can see that it's a horizontal line. Okay? All right, take a look at, let's do this one. All right, m equals negative 6 minus 1, 8 minus 8. This is over 0, and now it's undefined. So now, For undefined, you can abbreviate UND. But listen, if you get -7/0 and that's what you put in your answer space, that's not good enough. You have to explicitly say that it's undefined.
And why is B not undefined?
Because B is 0 divided by 3. You can divide 0 by a number, but you can't divide something by 0. Right? It's like if you have 0 pieces of chocolate and 3 people, how much does each get? 0. But it's like, then the other version is having 3 pieces of chocolate and 0 people. That just doesn't make sense. Okay?
Yeah, you have to write -7/0.
No, if you can see it, just write undefined. Okay? Okay.
So it's either undefined or accidentally say
Yeah.
0.
Okay, this one, because we love fractions. Okay, so what if you were a rebel and you're like, I'm going to make this x1, y1 and this x2, y2. Guess what? Does not matter as long as you're consistent, right? So let's do it this way. 5/3 minus 4/3, -1/2 plus 1/4. So this is what? 1/3 over, how much is this? -1/4, right? 1/2 minus 1/4 is 1/4. So this is 1/3 times -4/1, -4/3. Have to simplify. Okay? All right, here you're given the points, so it's the same situation, or you can also do the rise over the run. So the rise here, right, from -2 to 2 is we're going up 4, that's +4, and then I'm going to the right 2, +2, so slope is 2. To do it this way from a graph, to go from one point to the other, you have to pick the leftmost point and go to the rightmost point. Otherwise, you get a negative, okay? Okay, here, leftmost point to the rightmost point. So I go down 1, right? So m is -1, and then I go to the right 4 spaces, that's +4. So slope is -1/4. Right? Okay. Now here, this one you also do in geometry. Find the value of r so that the line that passes through the pair of points has the given slope. So now we're given slope, we're missing one of these coordinates. But that's fine. If you have 2 coordinate points, you can just write the slope, right? So here, m is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What's m in this problem? 2. 2 equals y2, 3 minus r, over x2, 3 minus 6. Okay, so 2 equals 3 minus r over -3. Cross multiply, -6 equals 3 minus r. -9 equals -r. R equals 9. Same as we did in geometry, right? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Rate of change. When you have to find rate of change from an equation, you have to write it as y equals first. Okay? So write it in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so here we go. -2y equals 16x plus 41. Y is -8x minus 41 over 2. Where in here is the slope? -8. Remember, it's y equals mx plus b, right? So this is the slope, -8, right? So m is -8, or the rate of change. The rate of change and slope are the same. So back in the day, I used to tell my students, before you go to bed, just like you say your prayers or whatever, right? You should just be like, rate of change is slope. Slope is rate of change because they're the same. And that's a concept that's going to stay with you until calculus and beyond. Okay? All right. So that's section 3. Nothing new here, right? Was there anything new here? No. All algebra 1 and geometry stuff. Cool. Okay. So here we go. 2.4. Equations of lines. Also nothing new here. You all wrote equations of lines in algebra 1 and in geometry. So let's do it here. When we're writing equations of lines, there are 2 ways that we can give them. One is point-slope form. The other one is slope-intercept form. Point-slope form is this: y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Okay? The reason why this is called point-slope form is because you can figure out, just by looking at it, a point that the graph passes through and the slope. This one, it gives you the slope and the y-intercept. Now, in calculus, 100% of the time, maybe 99% of the time, the top point slope form is used. That's why we have to stress it throughout the years, okay? All right, so here we go. Write the point slope form and then the slope intercept form of each of these. Okay, so here I have a point. It passes through 2 3/5, and this is the slope. So this is my x1, y1. So for the point slope form, it'll be y minus 3/5 is equal to 1/2 x minus 2. This is the point slope form. On my homework and on the test and on the quiz, I'm going to ask you for this form and for the other form. Cool? Okay. So point slope form, and then to convert it, we're going to distribute. This is 1/2 x minus 1. Then we add 3/5. So y equals 1/2 x minus 5/5 plus 3/5 minus 2/5. This is slope-intercept form. Okay? All good? All right, go ahead and do the next one. I'll give you 30 seconds. Any marks? Get set? Go! Okay. Okay. Who can give me the point slope? Okay, Akiva, can you give me the point slope form?
Yeah, y plus 1 equals -3 parentheses x plus 2.
Excellent. And then Zoe, can you give me the other one? Fabulous. Okay. All right. Now, for the next one, right? Here we have x1, y1, x2, y2. I have 2 points, but I don't have a slope. That means first I need to find the slope. So let's go ahead and find the slope. That's going to be 5 plus 3, 3 plus 1, 8/4, 2. Now, to write the point slope form, pick any of those points. It's like black magic. Both of them will work in the end, right? I'm going to pick the first one because it has more negatives. So y plus 3 equals 2, x plus 1. This is the point slope form. If you used the other one, your point slope form will look different from this, but that's okay. Then when we put it in y-intercept form, everybody's will look the same. Okay, so y plus 3 equals 2x plus 2. Y equals 2x minus 1. Okay? All right. I'll race you to the next one. You ready? On your marks?
Wait.
Get set. Go! Okay. Oh, boy. I almost messed up there. Oh, that's going to slow me down. Okay. What did we get for that slope? -9. Yes? All right, let's see. -9 for the slope. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, because I'm racing against you and I'm your teacher. But if when I was in Algebra 2 honors, I wouldn't have done it that fast in the 10th, whatever grade I was in. Okay? So,
That's not an equation.
this is just the slope. Now we're going to find the point slope form. We're going. We're still going. We're still going. You guys are just distracting me so you win. All right, I'm going to go slow because I don't want to make a mistake. Okay. Yep, I saw. Okay, so now let's talk about parallel and perpendicular lines. Very simple.
Is there no 2.5?
Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay? Perpendicular lines have slopes that are the opposite reciprocals of each other. That means if the slope of one line is 2/3, what's the slope of the perpendicular? Awesome. Okay? All right. So here we go. Let's do this. We're going to write the point slope form of the line. Then we're going to convert to slope intercept form. So here I have a point. Great. That's my x1, y1. And it's perpendicular to this. So here, the slope of this line is -5/3. Right, so the slope of the perpendicular line is 3/5. So my line is going to be y plus 3 is 3/5 x plus 9. That's the point slope form. And then y plus 3 is 3/5 x plus 27/5, right? And then I subtract 3. So y equals 3/5 x plus, how much? 12/5. So there's 1 and there's 1. On your homework, on your quiz, on your test, you will have 2 answer spaces. On the first one, you write the first box. On the second one, you write the second box. Okay, this one passes through 4 and -10. So this is my x1, y1. Parallel to 7/8. So what slope am I going to use? 7/8. All right, y plus 10 is 7/8 x minus 4. Y plus 10 is 7/8 x minus how much? 14/4. Oh yeah, that is 7/8. All right, subtract a 10. Yep. -17/2. 27. Oh, it's a negative. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, I really should have finished that cup of coffee. -27/2. Okay? Here we go. Okay, here. Write an equation in the slope intercept form. Slope intercept form. I need a slope and I need a y-intercept, right? So here, the y-intercept is right here, right? That's 0,7, correct? Okay, for the slope, look, I go down how many points? From 1 point to the other point. How much did I go down? 8. So that's negative 8 because I went down. And then how much did I go over? 6. That's positive 6. So the slope is negative 8 over 6, negative 4 over 3. The equation of the line in slope-intercept form is going to be y equals negative 4 over 3x plus 7. Okay? All right, so go ahead and do the other one.
7 would be like.
So y equals 5x minus 3. Okay, awesome. All right, no, let's do this one. The sales of a sandwich store increased approximately linearly from 52,000 to 116,000 during the first 5 years of business, right? So at the end of the first year, right? So like when the business was a year old, it had made this much money, 52,000. And then at the end of the 5 years, right, it had made this much money. Okay? So this is at x equals 1. This is at x equals 5. Write an equation that models the sales y after x years. Determine what the sales will be at the end of the 12 years if this pattern continues. So first we need to find the slope, right? Because we need an equation of the line. For that, we need some coordinate points. The coordinate points we have are 1 and 52,000. And here when you have multiple commas, it's up to you to keep track of what the commas mean. And then 5 and 116,000. So first let's find the slope. And that's going to be 116,000 minus 52,000 over how much? 5 minus 1, 4. Okay. So here we're going to plug into our calculators. 64,000. Well, yeah, I don't know. You know what? We don't even need the calculators. I'll just. Right. This is going to be 64,000 over 4. And that's, how much did you say? 16,000. Okay. Now, let's write an equation of the line. Y minus 52,000 is equal to 16,000 x minus 1. Right? So y minus 52,000 equals 16,000x minus 16,000. And then if I add 52,000 to this, 52 minus 16 is 36. So y equals 16,000x plus 36,000. Now, if you're given something like this on a non-calculator quiz or test, the numbers will be like a little bit more manageable. All right? So here we go. That's the equation. And then it says, determine what the sales will be at the end of 12 years if this continues. So this is y. Now, I want to know what will y be when x is 12. So just like we used function notation, we can say after 12 years, now this will be y of 12, right? And that's 16,000 times 12. This you would put in your calculator. And we would get y of 12 would be $228,000. All right? So I really am like stressing this notation as well. Okay, y of 12. So it's y when x is 12. Okay? Because there's only one x, and that's here. Right? You only plug it in where the x's are. Okay? All right. So that's section 3 and section 4. You're going to have a quiz on this next class. The homework is a worksheet. Okay?